Good evening, folks watching us on TV. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please stand for a moment of silence for Brian Kaufman. Obviously a member of the Kaufman family who's been in the village for many years. Good family. Oh, thank you. Okay, I always go through the 2 weeks from the last meeting to this meeting, just touch on a couple of things here. If anybody needs an overflow, there's the room upstairs. I just want to touch quickly on this. We still are a non-sanctuary village. People were concerned with that. I mentioned this before. We're not getting anybody riled up here. If any places that aren't sanctuary municipalities do whatever they do, we're just on alert to make sure we're safe. And that's that. Our police department will follow with the federal government if anything happens. Another thing too, car break-ins. Be careful. They're happening all over Orange County. Anybody who's reading the newspaper knows this is happening. So please lock your doors. We'll touch on this thing too. I mentioned this in the past. If you're a business, a local business or something like that, or whatever, we have several meetings in this village. Darlene and I are always meeting with somebody. We have no problem meeting with somebody. However, if you're late on your bills and you haven't paid the village what's due, you got to pay them before you talk to us. You're not going to deal with somebody who's late on their bills. It's not fair to the rest of the taxpayers in this village. Touch on this. Central Hudson is asking that you cut your bushes around your meter for obvious reasons. Spring, summer's coming along, so they want to be able to get there. Another thing too, snowstorm. I always talk about DPW, how great they are. And I want to talk further about our police department too. These are common sense police. We don't balance the budget on tickets or anything like that. What they do is they go around with their loudspeakers and they made announcements, please move your cars off the street. And that was great. And I've heard from several residents that they're happy with that. Like I said, we don't make money. We don't look to balance the budget on tickets. The job is to clear the snow, and these guys did a great job. And the last thing I want to say is that we had a water main break up at Purple Mountain at Oriole. I was made aware of it immediately, and we put out a code red so people are aware of that. People want to know why the water isn't running. What it does by me putting the code red out is it keeps the calls coming in from the village, so the village DPW or our folks here don't have to keep answering the phone. And it goes on when it does. So that's it. That's what I have on that. We move further. We don't have an attorney tonight, so we are not having an executive session or anything like that. And consider on the business, considering allowing Maybrook Wind Ensemble to perform at the Senior Center at no cost Sunday, March 30th. Make a motion for that?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Adopt a resolution to accept all donated items purchased with money from the Medline Foundation. Make a motion?
I think we have to wait for Will for that one.
I'm sorry?
I think we might have to wait for Will on that for next meeting.
Okay.
It should just be quick, but he has the,
Is that what we do? Wait for him? All right.
unless he gave the
We
verbiage that
have
he
a
wanted.
resolution.
We have the resolution on.
I didn't see it.
Consider obtaining 3 quotes for cameras for Village Hall, outside the Village Hall and around the property. Make a motion?
I'll make the motion, and I will add that we did get, I did meet with an ITC today to look over our camera installation. We also have another quote from another person, so we just need one more.
Right.
All right, so it's moving forward.
Okay.
I'll make the motion then, yeah.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we had the adopt a resolution for the senior dining program. That's got to be held up. And what's your-
Probably is here.
All right. Okay, the senior dining program contract will be held up. There was a couple of words that had to be changed on it, and we'll wait till our attorney comes back on that. That motion has been accepted. I'm sorry?
The wind is almost been,
So glad we're here. Missed it by a minute.
well, that was an easy one.
Okay, request to meet with the board, 3 minutes, please. Ms. Tipton,
Yes.
name and address for the record, please.
Sure. Karina Tipton, 225 Union Street, and I wanted to address the board because of some comments that were made last meeting about electric vehicle chargers. And I understand that electric vehicles are not for everybody. They are for me. I have a Chevrolet Bolt, proud American vehicle manufacturer. And we took our EV on a trip to Florida over New Year's to visit my stepmother who's snowbirding in southern Florida. So it was a trip of 1,300 miles, and I just wanted to share with you my experience on the road looking for chargers. So there are several apps that you can use if you do own an electric vehicle. You put in your destination and it does the route for you. It tells you where you can stop and where you can charge. You tell it which kind of a charger you're looking for, and these apps also allow you to look for other local amenities for when you are charging. So for example, there were several chargers that we stopped at where the only local amenity was a Target, right? So these were in Target parking lots. We went to the bathroom in the Target, we went back, we sat in the car. There were other places where there were locally owned restaurants and businesses that we went into while our car was charging. And that's really why I wanted to address the board, because providing electric vehicle chargers is not just for the person that is driving the charger. It is an amenity that will draw people into the village of Montgomery. And I do have a charger at home, and for 8 months after we got the vehicle, we did not have an at-home charger. So we would drive to other communities around the area, stop, charge our car, charge it up. We're paying for the charge while we're sitting there. We would go to Middletown. We would stop at the brewery in Middletown and have a nice lunch while we were waiting for the car to charge, because we didn't at that time have a charger at home. And for people that live in apartments, for example, that is their experience. So would the village consider in the future a grant or something like that to provide electric vehicle chargers in the village? It's not for the vehicle drivers. It's for the people that own the restaurants or the shops that are in the village of Montgomery. It gives people an excuse to come to Montgomery, get out of their car, stretch their legs, buy a few things down at the bookstore, have a nice meal at Ward's Bridge Inn or whatever, and just continue on their route. And I will say also that in my experience making this trip to and from Florida, we would drive 15 minutes off of the highway to get to a charger that had a more favorable set of local amenities to look at than the Burger King right off of the highway. Like, we would make that priority. And that's because when you're driving an EV, you understand it's going to take a little bit longer. You know you're going to have to stop and charge. It's not going to be a quick gas stop. So you prepare for that, and you're looking for things to do while you're out there. So I just wanted to mention all of this to you because I understand that, again, not everybody has got this experience with electric vehicles. They're not for everybody. I know a lot of people are not fans of them. But the people that do drive them, they have money, right? And I'm not saying that I'm like Mr. Moneybags or anything, but an electric vehicle is a little bit more costly than a regular gasoline engine, right? So you have to consider that these are people that have invested in the EV experience and they would like to spend their money in communities. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kiernan? Please state your name and address for the record.
James Kiernan, Village of Montgomery. For the new year, I just thought we should look at some common goals to continue to move our village forward in a positive way. First of all, I'm a stickler for ADA compliance. I'm continuing to urge this board to move all subsequent meetings to the senior center, which we all know is fully ADA compliant, and we've been promised we would be moved there once it was. Please let's finish the employee handbook. Please let's find and organize for more water sources for our village and ensuring that there are viable, clean sources. Continuing to very closely monitor all building and development taking place in our village, and really a truly updated comprehensive plan for our village would help in these endeavors. Focus on continued traffic issues, safety at crosswalks, weight limit, maintenance for our roads. And would like to get back to setting rules for public participation as well as general public discourse, both for us as the public and for you as the governing body. And I would like to say to continue to support all of our activities for our seniors, wherever they're being held and by whoever is holding them. Whether it's a former senior advisory group that is now a different senior advisory group, or the village proper, to support and maintain all these programs for our many friends and for some of us, our relatives. The senior center calendar from the village should be updated to reflect the classes that are really currently active now. Advertised canasta lessons, mahjong lessons, knitting, crocheting classes, book clubs are not really being led by anyone, and there have been seniors coming in for these activities who have been turned away because there was no one to lead the classes. So I think we could do better at that in the communication. And I also think all village employees, even those who work at the senior center, should be treated with respect and given full support as needed. And a few short closing words on priorities or where your loyalties lie. I know when I was interviewed for the position of trustee last spring, the mayor told me that of course I would be expected to be loyal to him. I wonder who else was asked that question. Now, of course, I'm hoping we all know the mayor meant, of course, being loyal to the village, right? No, okay. So I would hope that would be the case. So what do your loyalties show? Or how do you display your loyalties? Are you showing loyalty to one man, to the mayor, and agreeing to any and all proposals with limited questions, no real research, discussions if you have to, and not really any due diligence? Are you showing loyalty to a certain party that we claim to be a nonpartisan village? Or in this new year of 2025, do we want to renew and revive our loyalty to the residents and the voters of Montgomery? Let's move this meeting to a potential practical site for all of us, Senior Center. Let's stay on top of pressing issues. The budget, good Lord, the budget. Yes, we have to stay on top of that, especially since we've seen what the town of Montgomery is proposing. I would love to see what's going on with our budget. Conducting new business and finishing up old business. Having old business on the agenda is not bad. School boards do it, other municipalities do it. And not being divided, but being united in solving problems, and definitely not being distracted by the small local politics played out in this room at times. We have enough problems here that we can unite as a group, as a community, as people that really do care about each other, even when we disagree, and move forward as a village together. Thank you.
Did you guys need?
There's seats in the front if you want to sit down.
Hey, come on up back over.
Sit down in the front.
Thank you, guys.
Can you get set up? Can you report time? Paul Pahookie, please say your name and address for the.
Good evening, I'm Paul Pahookie. I live at 99 Union Street. I appreciate the opportunity to address the board. I think we could start with something that we all agree on here, and I hope that's all. We don't want any more warehouses here. You may think we have no choice, as we still have undeveloped I-1 industrial park zone lots. All this light purple is all industrial park. This is the KSH. Maybe we have to accept that's coming. I think we don't have to accept more warehouses here. I say we always have a choice. We should never say, oh, this is industrial, we're stuck with a warehouse is gonna go there. I know a lot of people worked hundreds of hours on the comprehensive plan years ago. I appreciate and respect all that work. For whatever reason, they thought this should be warehouses. I disagree. I think a lot of you disagree, and I think we can change that. If the majority of the citizens of the village of Montgomery don't want any more warehouses, you, as our elected or appointed officials, owe that to us, and you should work with us to create a solution that is fiscally responsible, yet still respects the history and quality of life of our village. Not saying throw in something in there that makes us zero money, but there are solutions of things that could offer rateables and still provide actual value to our village. A warehouse, aside from the rateables, provides zero value to this village. We've all seen, a lot of you might have seen recent articles about the Amazon warehouse or warehouses. People talk about it brings jobs. We don't want those jobs. Those are not always the greatest jobs. Some people might work there and that might be great for them, but it really is bringing not much value to our village, and a lot of those people who work there can't afford to live in our village. They're coming in from somewhere else. Some are homeless, some are in hotels, they're not really being part of the village for the most part. A few examples that I've thought of, and again, though this light purple area, it could be rezoned, village industry, neighborhood business, or village business. Just a few examples of land uses that are in our zoning. I remember sitting upstairs once and we talked about no more warehouses, and Walt Lindner said, well, what else should we have? And that was a great question. I've thought a lot about that, and there's a lot of solutions. If we walk around and look at other towns and other villages, we could have medical offices, like where the the physical therapy is up by Scotch Corners. We could have indoor, outdoor theater, a theater, an amphitheater. We could have a sports complex. In Goshen, they have a beautiful sports complex with a pool, with tennis courts. That could be indoor, outdoor, swimming, outdoor fields, ice skating, bowling, roller skating. There's very many creative things that we could have that are not just housing. I understand housing is often seen as the only alternative to industrial. If there's not going to be industrial, housing is going to come, and that does present issues. So I just want to say, let's have a conversation about getting creative and not accepting any more warehouses here. If we're already accepting KSH here, these don't have to be more warehouses. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Rob Salvin, state your name and address for the record, please.
I'm gonna defer till next meeting.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
gonna go to the next meeting.
Okay. No executive session. Motion to adjourn. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
I'll make a
Oh,
motion.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you made it?
Second.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Bye.
Thank you.
Safe ride home. Thank you for being here. Thank you folks watching on TV.
Hey, how are you? What's that? Yeah,